Today's topic for the lecture is properties of Z transform. Let's start with the first property. First one is linearity property. Just similar to the Fourier transform and the Laplace transform, we have a linearity property which stands for which holds the principle of superposition and homogeneity. Here, if x1n having Z transform x1z with an ROC R1 and second sequence x2n having Z transform x2z with an ROC R2, so linearity property said that a1 x1n plus a2 x2n having Z transform a1 x1z plus a2 x2z, and the ROC will be R1 and R2 intersection. Let's go for the proof. Xz is equals to summation xn z raised to power minus n, where limits varies from minus infinity to infinity. So just put out the value of xn as a1 x1n plus a2 x2n, and let's suppose the answer will be y of z. So y of z, open that summation, is equals to n is equals to minus infinity to infinity a1 x1n z raised to power minus n plus a2 x2n z raised to power minus n. So it will give you a1 x1z plus a2 x2z. Let's come on to some examples on the basis of the same property. First question is xn is equals to 2 raised to power n un minus 3 raised to power n u of minus n minus 1. Yesterday in the lecture we seen that that a raised to power n un having z transform z upon z minus a with mod of z greater than a. Here a is 2. In the assignment also you perform this question, so answer we can direct here I am write directly that answer for 2 raised to power n un is z upon z minus 2 with mod of z greater than 2, and second part says that minus 3 raised to power n u of minus n minus 1. That is, in the last lecture we did this question, minus a raised to power n u of minus n minus 1, and the answer is z of z by z minus 3 with mod of z less than 3. So xz is the sum of both the terms. Now important term is ROC. First part of the question says that ROC is mod of z greater than 2, and second part of the question statement says that mod of z less than 3. So ROC will be more than 2 and less than 3. In case of Z transform, we have a ROC as a circle, and first part says that ROC will be outside the circle having radius 2, and second part says that inside the circle having radius 3. So the ROC will be common part of in between 2 and 3. Let's come on to the second example. Xn is equals to a raised to power n un minus a raised to power n u of minus n minus 1. Similar to the last question, we can write direct the answer that xz is equals to z upon z minus a with mod of z greater than a, first part, and plus second part says z upon z minus a with mod of z less than a. First part says ROC is greater than a, and second part says ROC is less than a. So in that case ROC will be a null set. Important point of this question. Third question says xn is equals to a raised to power n un minus a raised to power n u of n minus 1. Take care of second part. Here u of n minus 1 is given. I can take the common portion from both the part a raised to power n, and the statement is un minus 1, and un minus 1 will result del of n, because n on n is equals to 0, only one impulse is there. So a statement will become a raised to power n del n, and del n will exist only on n is equals to 0. So xn is equals to a raised del of n, and already we solved this question as first question of this unit. Fourth part and the important question, that xn is equals to a raised to power n cos omega naught n into un. We have to find out xz, that is Z transform of. We know that cos omega n is equals to e raised to power j theta plus e raised to power minus j theta divided by 2, and here theta is omega naught n. Now I can write e raised to power j omega naught n into un first part, and e raised to power minus j omega naught n into un second part. Again this is similar to last question, that a raised to power n un. Here a is e raised to power j omega naught. So answer will be z upon z minus a. A is e raised to power j omega naught, and the ROC, important part, ROC will be mod of z greater than mod of e raised to power j omega naught, and mod of e raised to power j omega naught is always 1, because under root of real part square plus imaginary part real and sine and cos part, the mod will be 1. So this part having answer z upon z minus e raised to power j omega naught. Similar for the second part, answer will be z upon z minus e raised to power minus j omega naught with mod of z greater than 1. So answer for this question, this particular part cos omega naught n into un is equals to z square minus z cos omega upon z square minus 2z omega plus 1 with mod of z greater than 1. This is the half part of this question, that is if you get the answer question cos omega naught n into un. Now in continuation with the next part, the statement is a raised to power n into cos omega naught n into un. We know that xn having z transform xz, so a raised to power n xn will result x of z by a. This is the scaling property in z transform. So in complete answer, the statement z part will replace by z by a. So z by a square minus z by a cos omega naught upon z by a whole square minus 2z by a cos omega naught plus 1, or a complete answer will be z transform of given by x of z will be, which will be z square minus az cos omega naught upon z square minus 2az cos omega naught plus a square. Now ROC will also change, because earlier part we have mod of z greater than 1, now z is replaced by z by a, so ROC is mod of z by a greater than 1 or mod of z is greater than mod of a. For the next part, next two question you have to solve, that is x of n is sine omega naught n into un, and second question is a raised to power n sine omega naught n into un. You have to find out the z transform. Answer is already given here, but you have to completely solve it for today's assignment. And the earlier on the top part of this paper, this page, we have one property that a raised to power n xn, we have z transform x of z by a. So second property for z transform is scaling property. If xn having z transform xz, so a raised to power n xn having z transform x of z by a. Let's suppose answer is yz, we have to find out. Just simply write down the formula of z transform, and then yz is equals to n is equals to minus infinity to infinity a raised to power n xn z raised to power minus n. Just combine a and z part, so it will become z by a z raised whole raised to power minus n, and this can be written as complete formula of x of z by a. So if you scale the given sequence by the factor a raised to power n, in the answer you will have replacement z by a. Let's come on to the next property, that is time shifting property. Xn having z transform xz, so what will be the answer for x of n minus n naught or x of n plus n naught? Let's go for the proof. Just write out the formula of z transform by x of z. Just replace x of n by x of n minus n naught. X of n minus n naught, we don't know about this formula, so we replace it by p, and n is equals to p plus n naught. So replace this factor x of p z raised to power minus p plus n naught. Open this bracket, and we have two parts, z raised to power minus p into z raised to power minus n naught. Z raised to power minus n naught will be outside the summation part, so we will get y of z is equal to z raised to power minus n naught x of z. Means if we time shift the sequence by the factor minus n naught, in the output we will get z raised to power minus n naught as in term outside the x of z. Similarly, if we shift the time by the factor plus n naught, we will get the factor z raised to power plus n naught into x of z. We can see the example also. Let's find out for the z transform for u of n minus 1. We know that un having z transform z upon z minus 1 with mod of z less than mod of z greater than mod of 1. If we use the shifting property, we will get the answer for u of n minus 1, that is z inverse. We are shifting with the factor 1, so we will get outside one factor, that is z raised to power minus 1, and the x of z will be z upon z minus 1. So answer will be, or you can write it like z inverse into 1 upon 1 minus z inverse with mod of z is greater than mod of 1.